Yeah, this is Mark McAfee, the founder of Organic Pastures Dairy, on April 29th, I think 29th today, at Camping with the Cows here in Fresno, California with Safe Baby. And we're talking about the value, the virtue, the science, the experience of raw milk and why it's emerging as a food and what it can do for people. And it's pretty powerful when you think about it. There's almost uniform consensus around the world, not complete, but almost uniform consensus that breastfeeding is important for children. Doctors all say it. Breastfeed if you can. Breastfeed if you find. It's so important. The vital nutrients provided by mom that are unadulterated directly from mom, the antibodies, the oligosaccharide sugars, the probiotic bacteria, everything coming out of mom's breast is raw milk. But magically, something weird happens when mom stops breastfeeding, and the doctors say, but don't ever give raw milk to kids. Well, their recommendations are completely in contrast with themselves because they just recommended raw milk for their kids because that's the best food of life is breastfeeding for children. So we've taken that and made sense out of it. The bottom line is raw milk is fantastic for people if it's done properly. And that means the right set of conditions, pastures, sunshine, healthy cows, organic standards. That means milking your cows cleanly. That means testing the milk, doing all the things we're doing here. And other farmers are doing this too across the United States that are with the Raw Milk Institute and people that are really taking this seriously to produce raw milk that's fit for human consumption. And that's what's really powerful. Dr. Cabana at University of San Francisco, now it's 18 years ago, did a study where for every round of antibiotics a child receives prior to 1 year of age, there was a 250% increase of asthma potential for life. Wow. It really speaks to the role of bacteria in the gut and how antibiotics kill off bad bugs and good bugs, and how that can really decimate the immune system and set someone up for life for asthma, inflammatory bronchial disease process. And then you look at Europe and you look at this interesting study coming from the Parsifal study, the Gabriella study, the Pastures study, the cohorts done with the Koala study, the LMU study that just came out 2 years ago. They all show dramatic decrease in asthma, eczema, ear infections, nasal infections, allergies in children that drink raw milk. Now, these studies have been corrected by adjusting for farm conditions, animal exposure, whether they live in the city, the farm, all those things. And the one thing they identified is dramatically the big difference, the big variable that changes things is consumption of farm fresh raw milk. And the science they believe, and they're pretty sure they've got this nailed down, is the raw whey protein, the whey, W-H-E-Y, the raw whey protein that has not been processed or destroyed by denaturing by temperature, by pasteurization. The raw whey protein actually actively stabilizes mast cells. Mast cells are the origin of histamines. So if you've got these raw whey proteins out there stabilizing mast cells so histamines aren't released, you don't have the inflammation response. That's probably an oversimplification of the science of the whole thing, but it's pretty close to understand for most people. The bottom line is when you destroy or denature the raw whey protein, it's no longer raw, and the whey protein has now been denatured, you don't get that effect. And in fact, if you look at the FDA website, the most inflammatory and most allergic foods in America, milk, pasteurized dairy products are number one. And no wonder doctors say don't drink milk if you have asthma. But they don't recognize that the European studies, these massive studies I just quoted, the Pasteur study, the Gabriella study, the LMU study, all show the science, peer-reviewed science of why kids that drink raw milk have the exact same opposite effect, which reduces asthma, it stabilizes mast cells. So pasteurization, although it may have been an interesting 18th century phenomenon, it's kind of outlived its usefulness. There's better ways to do milk. And the markets are telling us that every year we see a 1% to 2% decrease of consumer interest by dollar voting in pasteurized fluid milk. Now, yogurts are doing okay and cheeses are doing okay, but they've been cultured after pasteurization and they've got their bacteria and enzymes activities back. And they don't have their dead bacteria so much. So because it's been, in the culturing process, they're kind of eliminated because they float off. So the bottom line is that raw milk's back. And it's back in a way that it's different than ever been shown before because the internet, moms are sharing and people are sharing together their experiences and connecting the science in Europe together and going, this is for real. And in California now, we are the 3rd or 4th ranked, depending on how you look at the numbers, brand of organic milk for the United States of America at Organic Pastures Dairy. So whether you're pasteurized or raw, we're the 3rd or 4th ranked brand, depending on what caliber, Horizon and Organic Valley are now combined. And then Clover Stornetta is number 2, we're number 3, and then Strauss comes number 4. If you look at fluid milk sales and dollar volume. Now, being a higher price point really helps. But the bottom line is people are getting this product at all costs because it's driving their family's immune system, and their kids are sick less frequently. If they are sick, they get over it quickly. They don't have the ear infections. They don't have the nasal discharge. They don't have the allergies. The eczema goes away quickly. It's a wonderful, it turns the eczema off like a light switch. It's fantastic. Give it 6 weeks on raw milk. We've done this experimentally over and over and over and validated the European studies showing that raw milk turns eczema off. So pretty powerful, compelling stuff. If you want a safe baby, what you want is a baby that's got a strong immune system.